And so I said, look up 10 feet. It was a little window. I said, Shell, there's a window, man. He said, hey, we just grabbed the table, put it there, broke the window, jumped through it, rolled over out of the window. I didn't know how high we was. Man, we dropped about 10 feet, and we dropped right on our backs, right on the police car. Black and white Long Beach. Did it that motherfucker up big time. So then we look, and right there, the police was lined up in riot gear. And the riot gear was like, and it was like marching like this. And we ran through, because
How old were you guys?
Man, I was like 13. Not like 13. I was 30. I was in the 8th grade.
Police lined up in riot gear?
Brother, it was a riot. You look at Long Beach Independent Press. Brother, they had a big thing in a newspaper about it. But let me finish. So we like this is the young survivors, man. So we like run through the police line, because they was like facing that way toward all of the brothers, and they wasn't seeing us in the back. Just hit their car and did it that motherfucker. And we ran through the line. We got to the side of our people, and we was like, man, everybody started picking up bottles, and the police marching like riot, one step at a time, and we chunking them with bottles. Bam! Police is falling and shit. Bam! And as the closer they get to us, then they pull out the billy clubs and started beating a few. So we didn't disband. We walked down to the we was on 5th and Long Beach Boulevard. We walked down to the Pike. Man, we went to the Pike like locusts, man. We went through the Pike like locusts. We went through every vendor. We got about 12 G's out the Pike, man. Really? We just like breaking open everything. Ask niggas.
What you do with the money?
Man, brother, for 3 months I didn't have to hustle no more, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. I bought a car. At 13 years old, I had a car, man. It was a blue Tempest. Ask my folks.
Okay, question. What was the thought behind changing young survivors to US? How did that come about?
Good question.
Well, hold on 1 minute. Roosevelt, 1971.
Yes, young survivors.
What was the gang scene in Compton?
None that we knew of. Might have been some gang somewhere, but none that we knew of, because we was kind of isolated we was a suburb of a black suburb. Brother, where we was living, our parents like focusing on education. Our parents focused in on structure, and that's where we were squares, man. But we had all this energy.
Are you speaking on the east side of Compton or the whole city?
I'm talking about Roosevelt, over by Alondra and Panaz and Roosevelt Elementary School.
So in 71,
junior high.
So in 71, there was no gang scene in the Roosevelt school area.
Nah, man. We was young survivors, brother. We was black. Hey, one other thing. And we just thought we were just like taking our reparations from white boys. We didn't know there were reparations, but we went through Long Beach like locusts, and everywhere we went, every white boy we saw, we beat their ass and took their money. That's what we were, man.
Okay, back to my question.
We was kicking their asses.
What year did that occur from young survivors to US? And what was the thought behind that?
All right, the first, when the US came, it was like, before, I'm talking about months, a couple of months before US. Man, Compton was so cool, man. We like at school, we get these index cards about all the parties. We have stacks of index cards, where, Hank's house, when, Saturday, how long, until, and we all had those, and we like go to party to party to party. We start from the west side of Compton, end up on the east side. It was all cool, man, no problems. So we was having a party. It was in 72, the summer of 72. No, the end of school year of 72. It was at the last, it was a graduation party. And we in there partying with our girls, slow dancing, everything, and it was all gravy, baby. And then all of a sudden, in one dreadful day, these brothers rolled up, and man, they had on these brims. They called them baby brims. Today, I think you guys know them as brims. And they stepped there, they like, all their cars was lined up, and they came out gangster style. And we was all separate. We, you know, the young survivors wasn't like, hey, these are enemies or nothing. We didn't even know. We was caught by surprise. And they started like jacking niggas and whoop whoop the whoop. Man, I seen the biggest, baddest niggas in Compton jumping out of windows and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a disgrace. It was, everybody fled and ran, man.
Was these guys with Brim has Crips?
Man, what I know is we call them baby Brims. Now, I mean, you know, if there's somebody bigger, I mean, somebody who's more into the history than me, but at that moment in that time, we said they were baby Brims. Now, I don't know if they was Crips or what, but I know one thing, and we was all individuals, and they was like, there was a group, there was a group, and was like, damn, how can we stand against them? So, the next day, that Sunday, we met at South Park. Everybody was there, because South Park was
Where's the location?
South Park is over there, by Chester, and everybody know where South Park is, man. You know, in Compton, off of Greenleaf, right there. That's where we met. Because we played basketball there every day. We shot caroms, we shot dice. It was all of us just like family, all day, every day. So we met there that next day, and it came, hey, man, we got to organize. We have to, like, we can't let this shit happen no more. Because I'm going to tell you something about that moment, in retrospect. Man, when we all fled, all of our girls was there alone. All of our girls were there alone, man. And they was like scared that none of us was there, man. We left them.
So to your knowledge, the Crips or the Pyrus hadn't formulated yet?
They were coming into be at that moment. At that moment.
You ever find out who these guys were and where they came from?
Nah, man. We just called them baby Brims. They had on these, look, they had the little baby Brims, and that was a thingy. And we called them baby Brims.
So that could have just been a description versus them being
Brims. It could have been. Could have been.
Because they could have been Crips, they could have been Pyrus, or...
I think they could have been.
Because during that time in the 70s, everybody was notorious for wearing Brims.
Brims, right.
Doocy hats or Knox 40s.
But they called themselves baby Brim here.
Oh, okay, so they did, okay.
And they was like, baby Brim here. Now, I don't know if they end up calling themselves the Brim or what, you know?
Let me ask you this. What year was the first time that you heard about the Crips? When did you hear that word first being spoken?
71, 72 era. And the thing is, and I was trying to figure out what the name meant, because we didn't know. And you know, but you know what was happening right there? They had the movie called Tales from the Crypts. Right there is when the movie started, Tales from the Crypts. And I just thought, hey man, they don't know how to spell Crips, so they just spell their Crips. But it was Tales from the Crypts, and I just thought that the Crips was from Tales from the Crypts who didn't know how to spell Crips.